Tonight on CTV News, cull completed.
Their last moments were fear, and all of us had to listen to shot after shot after shot.
Supporters distraught as the CFIA kills hundreds of ostriches. How the plan was executed.
Those who commit extortion and terrorize our communities will be pursued, arrested, and charged.
BC's Extortion Task Force identifies dozens of people who may be in the country illegally, and some they have kicked out of the country.
The first thing probably that comes to people's mind is we're going to lose some more young families.
A devastating blow for a BC town. A mill shuts down, the latest casualty of U.S. tariffs.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. An emotional fight to keep hundreds of ostriches alive is over. For 10 months, the CFIA wanted to cull the birds after an avian flu outbreak. This morning, they announced all the birds had been shot dead. Farm supporters say they're devastated. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the story.
This is a day the owners of Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood hoped would never come. Their flock of 300-plus birds is gone after the Canadian Food Inspection Agency brought in trained marksmen to cull the ostriches Thursday evening.
All night, our animals were put into a kill box of hay bales, traumatized. Their last moments were fear, and all of us had to listen to shot after shot after shot.
10 months ago, the cull was ordered when an ostrich tested positive for avian flu and 70 birds died from the virus. The farm's owners insisted the surviving animals had herd immunity that could be used for research, but the CFIA asserted the ostriches could still carry avian flu. And on Thursday, the Supreme Court declined to hear the owners' appeal.
We would have paid for the testing. The FDA and the NIH offered to pay for the testing. The Trump administration offered.
The owners are outraged at how the cull was carried out.
Canadian Food Inspection Agency brought war to our farm. They didn't bring death by dignity or respect of life. Last night, they brought war.
In a statement, the agency said, after consulting with experts experienced in managing ostrich disease outbreaks, the CFIA concluded the most appropriate and humane option was to use professional marksmen in a controlled on-farm setting. All depopulation activities were concluded under CFIA veterinary supervision.
They would have been bouncing off each other in fear and in pain, dropping to their knees, tripping over one another. There was no hope for them.
RCMP remained on scene Friday at the request of the CFIA as the cleanup continued.
When certain things like this happen, there's going to be a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. So that simply comes out through words a lot of the time. In this particular case, we're continuing our investigation with a number of threats towards CFIA agents as well as their contractors.
Having lost a 10-month battle to keep their flock alive, the farm's owners who garnered worldwide support aren't sure how to move on.
Number one, it's going to be protecting my family from heartache and pain and the loss of livelihoods.
Right now, they don't plan on replacing the ostriches. Animals, they say, were like family. Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
Breaking news, some progress tonight in tracking down possible suspects in the extortion crime spree rocking Metro Vancouver. CTV's Kevin Chirac is following this in the Breaking News Centre. Kevin.
Mijung, BC's Public Safety Minister Nina Krieger confirming authorities have removed 3 individuals from the country who are linked to extortion investigations. Her update was on behalf of the BC Extortion Task Force, a group that includes RCMP officers and border agents, and was set up in September to help tackle the consistent threats of violence targeting and terrorizing the Lower Mainland's South Asian community. So far, Krieger says authorities have launched immigration investigations on 78 foreign nationals.
As we have seen today, if individuals come into the country with the purpose of perpetrating violent extortion, they will be removed from Canada following all appropriate laws. This is an important step in our work to combat the international criminal efforts that are targeting members of our community in BC.
For well over a year, businesses and homes have been shot up, with criminals threatening violence and demanding money. Authorities have linked some of these crimes to the Lawrence Bishnoi gang in India, which was designated as a terrorist organization in September. It's unclear how the 3 individuals who were deported are connected to the crimes. Will they face punishment? Were they members of the Bishnoi gang? CTV News has reached out to the Canada Border Services Agency for more information. Mijang.
Thanks for this update, Kevin. John Rustad is facing growing pressure to step down as leader of the BC Conservative Party. The latest calls come from a BC Conservative Riding Association representing Burnaby, New Westminster, and the Tri-Cities. In a letter sent to the party's caucus, the group cites declining public support, poor fundraising, and internal divisions as signs the party is losing touch with British Columbians. One member hopes Rustad will show the same humility as the former BC United leader.
Kevin Falcon, in a similar position, did the honorable thing and resigned. And, the Conservative movement was very grateful for that.
Now he says the party needs to get back to a place where it can win elections, reasoning that won't happen with Rustad at the helm. He adds that the letter represents views from people across the base, including federal Liberals and Conservatives. An adjudicator has determined that a trio of Coquitlam Mounties violated the RCMP's code of conduct with racist, homophobic, and sexist text messages. The officers have been suspended with pay for more than 3 years. But as CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports, a significant punishment could soon be handed down. And a warning, some of the language in this story is graphic.
Crude, vulgar, sexist, racist, and downright nasty. Those were some of the words used by adjudicator Louise Morel to describe the text messages sent by the 3 Mounties as she went through her verbal decisions on the allegations against them. Morel found Coquitlam constables Mursad Mesbah, Ian Sullivan, and Philip Dick violated the RCMP code of conduct and displayed discreditable conduct by posting the derogatory comments in a group chat with other officers and on police computer terminals, but dismissed other allegations related to workplace harassment. The RCMP is seeking their termination. Morel says the officers' claims that the posts were made out of frustration, dark humor, or sarcasm does not absolve them, noting that police are held to a higher standard than the general public. I fail to see how a reasonable person in society would find comments about a vulnerable female being raped by 5 dudes, referring to an RCMP unit as the penis-touching team, or a victim of a criminal sexual assault as a dumb girl, can be acceptable, professional, or even excusable. Morel said when discussing allegations against Sullivan. In Dick's case, she referred to messages like the big turban man and the useless short tubby Asian, and highlighted how Mesbah referred to a domestic violence victim as a fat Iranian chick, among other derogatory comments. Morel is expected to give her written decisions, which she says will go into much greater detail within the next few weeks. Any possible punishments will be handed down after that. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Coquitlam.
For the 3rd time in a year, Vancouver police are warning the public about the release of repeat offender Tyler Gordon Strathdy. Strathdy is living in a halfway house under strict conditions, including not to consume drugs or alcohol or be in the presence of sex trade workers. He's serving an 11-year sentence for committing a slew of crimes in Alberta, including robbery, sexual assault, and manslaughter. Police believe he is likely to reoffend. After years of complaints about escalating costs and a lack of transparency from local governments, the province has published an independent review of the ECOM 911 system. The story just ahead. But first, it's 6:08. We're looking at a live shot of Robson Street, and thankfully we have the lights there on Robson Street to brighten up kind of a dark night.
Very dark. We were seeing the sunset before 6 o'clock, but today was a dry day. Friday. For the most part, early morning showers dried up quite nicely. We had breaks of blue skies, so hope you're able to enjoy your Friday. Here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland right now. We're seeing 9 degrees at the harbor, 8 degrees in Burnaby as well. You're looking at 8 degrees in Abbotsford and 9 in Chilliwack. So as we head into the weekend, this is what we can expect. A mix of sun and cloud tomorrow with a high of 12 degrees. Into Sunday, we're looking at things clouding over. We'll start off with sunny skies, clouds through the afternoon with a high of 14, which is well above seasonal.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
We are expecting showers on Monday, but it's looking dry for the surfaces for Remembrance Day. I've got your full forecast coming up.
And this weekend, good trend for the weekend.
Yes, not too bad.
All right, thanks, Ann. The province has released an independent review looking into a service tasked with answering millions of 911 calls. ECOM has faced complaints about rising costs that local municipalities are on the hook for. The operator says it's committed to relieving the financial burden. But as CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, some mayors say if changes aren't made soon, they'll go elsewhere.
More than 2 million calls are answered each year by 911 dispatchers working for ECOM. The system is largely funded through property taxes, but many municipalities are struggling to keep up with costs.
There are things like ECOM or 911. They throw a bill at us and we basically either have to pay it or we have to create our own 911 system.
Complaints about rising levies and a lack of transparency prompted the province to call for an independent review. While ECOM services aren't being scrutinized,
it's not a reflection on the amazing work that our staff do every day.
Changes are needed from an operational and financial standpoint. 2 reports by Ernst & Young list 17 findings and 25 recommendations.
To get a clear picture of the true cost of service, helping to ensure that local government costs remain sustainable going forward.
Issues range from a bloated board, there's a high turnover of directors, to an erosion of trust from partners.
There has to be and will be some scrutiny coming from us in 2026 that on behalf of the taxpayer.
We know we need to rebuild the trust of our partners.
ECOM says it's working to develop a financial model to provide more clarity for municipalities.
We haven't been really good about giving them predictable, understandable levies. The report points out we have to get a lot better at forecasting.
The union says while it supports the findings, gaps still exist.
Just last week, we were seeing emergency calls wait 4 minutes, and then last month, we were seeing them wait up to 9 minutes, which is an eternity when you're experiencing an emergency situation.
The province's largest 911 employer says it's aiming to introduce the recommendations by early next year. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim tells CTV News if improvements aren't made, the city will have no choice but to explore other options. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
Residents and city officials are sounding the alarm about a proposed BC Housing supportive unit plan for South Surrey. Thousands of people and business owners have now signed a petition calling on the proposal to be paused, worried for the safety of their community. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more.
Dozens of South Surrey residents say they have been left in the dark about a supportive housing project planned here near the Semiahmoo Town Centre in South Surrey.
A lot of concern, a lot of questions, more questions that the BC Housing proposal has answered.
The project, a partnership between BC Housing, the City of Surrey and Fraser Health, is located on 152 and 19th Avenue. It will deliver a total of 260 housing units. 40 of those will be supportive housing units and 20 will be complex care units.
There are a lot of drug issues, drug selling, trafficking, and drug using inside, also around the facilities. That make this area unsafe for the children and the seniors.
Councillor Linda Annis says she is concerned about the use of hard drugs at the site located near schools and businesses.
For that reason, I think we need to revisit this and put in housing that is affordable housing, housing for people that are in recovery.
There are a few things that I will be making sure that the Minister and BC Housing understands, and that that is that we have to have a facility that meets the needs of the neighborhood.
The province says there was an opportunity last month for people to have their concerns heard.
BC Housing conducted outreach, including letters to 1,600 neighbors, outreach to 70 community stakeholders. There was a community information session in October that 325 people attended.
No public hearing. There was no question and answer session at the community information session about a month ago.
Now more than 7,000 signatures have been collected in opposition to the proposal, concerned for the safety of their kids.
Really evaluate the impact of such program to this nice area.
Construction is set to begin in 2 years, with completion slated for 2029. Yasmin Gandham, CTV News, Surrey.
85 new non-market rental homes are up for grabs in Surrey's Guildford neighborhood.
At Metro Vancouver Housing, we are building and upgrading affordable rental homes across the region, including redevelopments like the one happening here at Kingston Gardens.
The Kingston Gardens redevelopment replaces 24 aging townhomes with a 4-story apartment building. The new homes range from 1 to 4 bedrooms and were designed with large families and seniors in mind. Funding from both the federal and provincial government supported the $44.7 million project by Metro Vancouver Housing. Applications to rent the below-market units are now open. A new report from rentals.ca shows average monthly rents were down once again across Canada last month. And surprisingly, the price to rent a condo or apartment in BC is falling the fastest in the country, though it still remains Canada's most expensive province. The report finding that the average monthly price in BC was $2,400 in October, down 5.8% from this time last year and 9.6% lower than 2 years ago. A commercial landowner in Richmond is taking legal action to have the controversial Cowichan court decision reopened. Montrose Properties owns warehouses on land where the court recently granted Aboriginal title to the Cowichan tribes. The company's lawyer says the ruling has created uncertainty around how private property rights could be affected. While Cowichan tribes say they have no plans to displace private landowners, Montrose argues that's not enough and the impacts are already being felt.
So the issue here is, what do potential purchasers think about this state of affairs? What do lenders that are asked to give mortgages and get security on the land think? And it doesn't solve this problem by the Cowichan tribe saying we're not going to come and try and kick anyone off their land anytime soon. That's not the issue.
The provincial and federal government, City of Richmond, Musqueam Indian Band and Tawasin First Nation are appealing the court's decision, and Cowichan tribes are also appealing the decision for more land. It's a major blow for a small community in the interior. 100 Mile House is losing its mill by the end of the year, putting dozens of people out of work. CTV's Martin McMahon has more on the reasons behind the permanent closure and the political fallout.
165 people out of work by the end of the year at the West Fraser Timber Mill in 100 Mile House. A dwindling timber supply and new U.S. duties among the factors for the closure.
We've been through this before. 6 years ago, we had 2 mills close at the same time. And so the effects of that, I don't know that you ever really get that out of your mind. And so the first thing probably that comes to people's mind is we're going to lose some more young families as they transition to jobs somewhere else.
The company blames challenging softwood lumber demand and factors including U.S. tariffs. News of the shutdown coming just days after Premier David Eby held a so-called softwood summit with federal ministers to prop up the embattled industry.
It's heartbreaking. I've personally lived through what happens when a mill closes down, and I understand the impacts for family and community. And so this is going to have a big impact on 100 Mile.
The BC Conservatives are largely blaming the provincial NDP.
Well, these alarm bells have been going on for a long time, way before threats of tariffs from the United States. And, you know, industry's been talking about certainty of supply, permitting issues, rising costs.
In response, the NDP government says the mill was operational before the new duties came into effect.
Well, I appreciate the Conservatives who want to point their fingers at us and have a really tough time criticizing Donald Trump. But our job as a government is to try to support people during this challenging time.
Ultimately, 100 Mile House now needs to figure out a path forward.
Fast knee-jerk reactions don't get you anywhere. And, we are going to be looking at the plan going forward, the long haul, on what we can do to get more jobs here.
When asked if there was anything the province could have done to prevent the closure, the company pointed to the mountain pine beetle infestation and wildfires as the main factors which have compromised timber supply. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
Expect delays on Highway 1 this weekend as a pedestrian overpass connecting Burnaby Lake and Deer Lake is installed. Also ahead.
We have an uninterrupted natural setting. It'll change it forever.
Plans for towers with a view of Wreck Beach. What critics are revealing about their concerns when CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. The city of Surrey is paying tribute to Canada's veterans with the new commemorative crosswalk in Cloverdale. It's next to the Royal Canadian Legion and features a kneeling soldier beside a maple leaf with the words, "Lest we forget." The city says it's a visible reminder of courage and sacrifice ahead of Tuesday's Remembrance Day ceremonies. Drivers are being warned to plan for delays on Highway 1 this weekend as crews lift the new Burnaby Lake pedestrian overpass into place. BC's Transportation Ministry says lane closures will begin at noon tomorrow before moving to a full lane closure at 8 p.m., which will continue until 6 a.m. on Sunday. Traffic will be detoured onto Lougheed Highway, but drivers can expect major delays during that time. Now to a fight over height. It's being waged by the Wreck Beach Preservation Society against a new development at UBC. Opponents say the towers could wreck the view, while the university says it needs to build much-needed student housing. Here's CTV's Brianne Foley.
We have an uninterrupted natural setting. It'll change it forever.
He's referring to UBC's plan to build a 22-story building along Marine Drive near Wreck Beach.
Previously, we had set a precedent as 53 meters being the maximum height of any building that they were going to build. They changed that policy without consultation with the stakeholders that were involved in the previous decision to make that.
In a statement to CTV, UBC says in part, quote, buildings closer to the slope are kept lower to avoid visibility from the beach. But the society argues even their own board members are not on the same page.
When the Board of Governors recently voted on the issue, one of the members spoke with one of our members and assured her that it was still going to be the 53-meter limit.
UBC says the revision from 53 meters was approved by the board when the 2010 land use plan was updated 2 years ago, and that, quote, UBC's approach to calculating building heights is consistent with other municipal jurisdictions. The redevelopment looks to create more than 1,500 beds for student housing, something students say is desperately needed.
I know a lot of my friends, they struggle for housing and then they end up overpaying for a basement.
A lot of the students cannot even live on campus, especially Indigenous students. We have lack of housing in that sector.
The Wreck Beach Preservation Society argues there are other options.
We recognize, though, that UBC has a lot of land that they can access for housing. We'd really hope that they might revert back to the 53-meter limit.
UBC adds in their statement that the major capital projects development process requires multiple points of approval, which they say included public comment from May 7th until 28th this year. The Wreck Beach Preservation Society says that they weren't informed about the height until September. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Vancouver.
A teenager in his backyard hot tub was shocked when a raccoon suddenly attacked him. What the animal was after, also ahead.
The anxiety from it was crazy, all morning, just seeing if we were going to be good to go.
Travel turbulence. Thousands of flights in the U.S. are canceled or delayed because of the government shutdown. How Canadians could get caught in the chaos. That's ahead. More than 2,000 flights were canceled or delayed at dozens of busy airports in the States today. It comes as a government shutdown continues. A shortage of air traffic controllers who aren't being paid is grounding planes and frustrating travel plans. And it's expected to only get worse. The Trump administration ordered major airlines to drastically cut domestic flights at 40 of the busiest airports in America. Canadians bound for the U.S. could get caught in the chaos.
The major airlines here in Canada will start to pull back on their flights because they don't have the slots to get in. But also, it's the overflying flights going down to the Caribbean, going down to South America. They have to fly over the U.S.
More delays are expected as people plan flights for U.S. Thanksgiving. Here at home, officials at Vancouver International Airport say so far Canadian flights haven't been impacted by the U.S. government shutdown. YVR says 164 flights are scheduled today between Canada and the U.S., and none have been affected. Passengers flying from Vancouver into the States should see normal operations, but anyone connecting through an American airport could experience delays on U.S. domestic routes.
The flight from Vancouver to, let's say, San Francisco might not be impacted, but an American carrier, that aircraft may be doing some domestic routes in the U.S. before it comes to Vancouver, to YVR. That's where there is the potential for knock-on effects, but that would be a down-the-road situation.
YVR says it's in close contact with airlines on both sides of the border and advises travelers to check their flight status and visit its website before heading to the airport. Vancouver firefighters gathered at 5 major transit hubs across the city today, selling umbrellas to raise money for a good cause.
The reason why we like doing it is because it gives us a chance to connect again with the community, to talk to people that we may not get the chance to, just about our job, about what we do for our charity, and just everything in between.
This year marks the 8th anniversary of Umbrella Day. Last year's event raised more than $10,000 for Vancouver firefighter charities, community programs, which include snacks for kids, toys for kids, and sports for kids. A new space in Surrey is helping newcomers feel more at home. Surrey Libraries opened its Newcomer Welcome Centre today, designed to offer support and community for those new to Canada.
Surrey is built on diversity, resilience, and opportunity. Nearly half of our residents are immigrants, and every day, newcomers enrich our city with their culture, their language, and their talents.
The center will offer resources and programming tailored to meet the needs of immigrant communities. Guests at today's event were invited to write words of welcome and hope on paper leaves that will be added to a tree mural inside the center. His passion for Lego has now become a full-time job. We'll show you the massive Lego city built by Edmonton YouTuber Brixie, also coming up.
I didn't think they'd bite you because I've seen videos before where they're so chill.
A teenager relaxing in his backyard. Hot tub is suddenly attacked by a raccoon. The story ahead on CTV News at 6.
Thanks to the Recording Academy and my fellow nominees. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of all you guys.
That's North Vancouver's Tobias Gesso Jr. accepting the Grammy for Songwriter of the Year in 2023. And he'll have another chance to win it next year. The nominations for the 68th Annual Grammy Awards was released today. Gesso is up for Songwriter of the Year for his work on 9 songs by artists including Justin Bieber and Haim. A teen in Calgary is recovering after being bitten by a raccoon while the teen was hot tubbing.
I didn't think they were so aggressive. I thought maybe they would be curious and somewhat cute, but for it to actually come up and just fight for that food was odd, very odd. I had no idea that they were here, not a clue, so it was a shock.
She says her 14-year-old son was eating candy in the hot tub last week when a raccoon lunged at him, biting his elbow before he managed to run inside. The teen had to get rabies shots as a result and lost his bag of Starbursts to the furry culprit. One man's love for Lego has turned into a full-blown miniature metropolis in Edmonton. Welcome to Brickmonton. The Lego city spans 75 square meters, includes millions of pieces and countless mini figurines. It even has its own downtown core, zoo, and an amusement park. Brickmonton is the work of Lego YouTuber Jordan Forsyth, better known as Brixie. He got his start 10 years ago when he and his wife built a Star Wars set. Since then, their collection has grown to about 1,500 sets.
It snowballed pretty quickly, and as soon as we bought our first modular building, I knew that one day I would be building a Lego city.
When his YouTube channel took off in 2020, he and his wife quit their jobs to focus on Lego full-time, and now they can say they are the mayors of Brickmonton, which takes up an entire studio. While it's closed to the public, you can tour it online. That is just incredible. They had to get a bigger studio because their Lego collection kept growing.
And the fact that that's their job now.
Yeah, their YouTube channel, I guess, pays them to play with Lego all day.
Wow, I wish I liked Lego.
You don't like Lego?
I have no patience. I don't have enough to build anything.
I love miniatures, so I would love to go see that Brickmonton one day.
I'm pretty sure if you email them, they'll let you into their studio for a tour. All right, let's take a look at our forecast as we head into the weekend. But first, this is what we saw today. A high of 12.5 degrees, slightly above the seasonal average of 9.3. And 9.1 was the low overnight, very high considering the average is 3.6. And with the rainfall that we've seen, with 35.3 millimeters right now, the monthly average is 171.2. So we still have a ways to go. We do have another low offshore. That'll bring in some wet weather for the central coast and Haida Gwaii. As we head into tomorrow, it will stay dry for the south coast, however, but here's how everything will play out. There's that low, as I mentioned, heading towards the north of us. It'll be very wet and windy for Massa, with winds gusting to about 100 kilometers an hour. Higher elevation will see snow along the coast. You'll see rain hit parts of Vancouver Island as we head into Sunday, and it's not until Monday that the south coast for Metro Vancouver will see some scattered showers. You will see mostly cloudy skies for the southeast corner of the province. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Overcast skies for Port Hardy with a high of 11 tomorrow. You'll see 10s for Campbell River and Comox under mostly cloudy skies. For the South Island, sunny breaks for Tofino and Port Alberni. Other than that, 11 degrees from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 10 and 11. You'll see clouds roll in through the afternoon with some sunny breaks. 10 degrees for the Sunshine Coast. Mostly sunny skies up the Sea to Sky Highway. 6 for Whistler, 10 for Squamish. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we'll enjoy a mix of sun and cloud with highs to 12 degrees across the board. It does cloud over on Sunday, but warms up to 15. Into Monday, we'll see scattered showers and some sunny breaks in there with a high of 12. Staying dry right now for Tuesday for the services on Remembrance Day with a high of 11 degrees. Overcast skies continue for Wednesday. Rain returns on Thursday, continuing into Friday with a high of 11. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So looking pretty good as we head into the next few days and the weekend with the next round of rain on Thursday.
Yeah, because the last couple of weekends have been pretty stormy.
Very soggy.
Nice to have some sunshine. I've got a pile of wet leaves in the backyard.
Everybody's talking about, yes, the cleanup time this weekend.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Ann. Our weekly roundup of fun and interesting things to do this weekend is coming up in the Friday Feel Goods.
When businesses are looking to hire, they don't want to hire full-time.
A ray of hope on the jobs front. More people were employed last month, but all the gains were part-time jobs. What's happening with an area of concern? Young people. That's ahead. At today's markets, the Canadian dollar made slight gains. It traded at 71 cents to the American dollar. Oil was up 32 cents, closing the day at $59.75 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained nearly $19 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones ended the day higher, up 43 points and 74 points respectively. The Canadian economy has surprised business analysts by adding 67,000 jobs last month. The overall unemployment rate was also down slightly to 6.9%. CTV's Heather Wright now on the numbers and the story they tell about the labor market.
For an economy that has been blindsided by U.S. tariffs, today's job numbers are welcome news. Unemployment is down, wages are up, and even some sectors like manufacturing and transportation, which lost a significant number of jobs in the summer, appear to be rebounding.
Over the course of September and October, we're actually seeing kind of a recovery in these sectors, and the sort of the level of employment in both sectors, we're now back to where they were kind of closer to the spring.
Canada added 67,000 jobs last month, with the overall unemployment rate dipping slightly to 6.9%. And while experts say this jobs report is a sign the labor market is beginning to recover, many are still struggling.
I've been applying to more than 100 jobs.
Catherine So is 22 years old and has been searching for months for a job as an early childhood educator. She's open to other jobs as well to help pay the rent, but she's struggling to find anything.
I'm definitely concerned about not landing a job as soon as possible, especially because I don't have much money saved up.
So is not alone. The youth unemployment rate is the highest it has been in decades, though it did drop from 14.7% in September to 14.1% last month. Another area economists are watching is part-time work. All of October's job gains were part-time positions, a sign of uncertainty in the market.
When businesses are looking to hire, they don't want to hire full-time because they're not sure what the coming year is going to look like.
This strong jobs report now has many economists predicting the Bank of Canada will hold its overnight lending rate at its next rate announcement in December after 2 consecutive cuts. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Cineplex reported some mixed results for its last quarter as executives say things are looking up for the cinema chain. Cineplex says it brought in nearly $349 million in revenue in the quarter that ended September 30th. That was down from more than $382 million a year ago when moviegoers packed theaters for superhero movie Deadpool and Wolverine. The company also set aside nearly $39 million to pay a fine imposed by Canada's Competition Tribunal to do with online ticket sales fees. Cineplex is appealing that charge and denies any wrongdoing. It also says a strong slate of upcoming films should help it end the year on a high note. It's official. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters are getting the doll treatment. Mattel Creations announcing the news today, saying it will open pre-orders next Wednesday, but you'll have to wait quite a bit longer until you can get your hands on them. The dolls are expected to ship in October next year. Your Friday feel-goods are coming up, and a sea lion spotted at a dog park, plus a souvenir stone. Adam finds out why a woman has been regularly visiting the beach and searching for one specific type of rock for 2 years, coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
Well, it's a time to remember and reflect. Monday on Your Morning Vancouver, we're highlighting how people in Metro Vancouver will be honoring our veterans on Remembrance Day. Plus, we're meeting the newest recruit of the Richmond RCMP. What goes into the training for Aaron, the German Shepherd puppy? We'll see you in the morning.
Canada's hockey jerseys for next year's Olympic and Paralympic Games have been revealed. Our players will be sporting 2 versions, a white jersey with a red maple leaf and a red jersey with a black maple leaf. Hockey Canada says the multi-tone design of the maple leaf crest reflects the look of a diamond, representing the athlete's ability to withstand incredible pressure. The Winter Games in Milano and Cortina, Italy, are set to start on February the 4th. It's supposed to be a dog park, but one very chill sea lion clearly didn't get that memo. This beachgoer was spotted lounging near the Spanish Bank's off-leash dog park without a care in the world. The sea lion can be seen lying on the beach and then looking up at the sky to soak up some rays on a beautiful fall day. An important reminder, if you happen to see marine mammals, make sure to give them lots of space.
No, he just wanted to hang out with land seals.
That's true. We see a lot of seals.
Well, that's what they call dogs, land seals.
Oh.
Really?
When their ears are back.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, really?
I was like, land seal.
It looks
That's
like
right.
one when her ears are back.
Oh, but I think it's doing fine. They just didn't want to, they didn't need to bring it into the Marine Mammal Rescue Society.
Good.
But it's kind of neat to see a sea lion. We don't see that too often. Okay, it's time for Friday Feel Goods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. Here are 3 things worth checking out.
Welcome to the Transform Festival.
Daring and powerful.
Transform Festival is underway at the Vancouver Playhouse, running until November 15th. The cabaret-style event puts Indigenous artists front and center, from drag performers and acrobats to musicians and actors. Highlights include the Star Walker Experience, a concert meets musical mashup, plus a closing set from Canada's Got Talent winner, Rebecca Strong.
Well, raise a glass. North Vancouver's Craft Beer Festival is back. The 2-week festival kicks off tonight with a launch party at the Pipe Shop. More than a dozen local breweries, cideries, and distilleries will be taking part. Expect brewery pop-ups, beer and food pairings, trivia nights, and even axe-throwing events, all running through November 21st. Sounds like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe the axe throwing before the drinks.
Yeah. Don't be drinking and axe throwing at the same time.
Have you guys ever tried it?
Yes, I'm so good at it.
Really?
Yes, so good.
Stay away from it.
Yeah.
She's angry.
I will be there.
Okay.
Vancouver's favorite improv troupe, the Sunday Service, is turning 20. Celebrate the milestone by catching their show on November 9th at the Fox Cabaret. Expect chaos, nostalgia, and a whole lot of laughs as the crew marks 2 decades of making it all up on the spot. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. I've always wanted to see one of those shows.
So good.
I've heard
awesome.
they're great.
You've seen them?
Yes.
I've
so
seen
good.
other like theater sports. You remember that?
Scramble Island.
Love that
Scramble
too.
Island.
It's a lot of fun. It's hilarious. Okay, if you have any events you'd like us to highlight, email your tips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca. We'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in just a minute. First, Kevin's got to look ahead to your late news.
Well, Mijung, did Prime Minister Mark Carney endorse an Alberta pipeline? Premier Eby has voiced his opposition to Alberta's pipeline plans through BC's coast. But earlier today, Carney suggested to a crowd, quote, something's going to happen. We'll show you the video later. Should college students get a break on BC ferries? Students from 3 major universities in BC are banding together to take on the affordability crisis, calling on the province to create a new discount. We'll hear from the students and BC ferries later tonight. That and all your late breaking news coming up at 11:30.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. Finally, Adam finds out why a woman's weekly walks along English Bay come with a special mission, a search for stones that hold memories of someone she loves. On tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
Surrounded by a sea of seemingly gray stones, that's Rosie, dressed in pink.
Looking for a stone, something like this.
It's something she never knew she could find when she first came here and assumed they were all the same.
All the stone has a different color and material.
She discovered that about 2 years ago, and almost every week since, Rosie's been searching for one specific type of stone.
For example, for crystal.
But before she can hold up that stone with this hand, Rosie needs to put away the AirPods she's holding in the other.
Sir, I speak with my sister. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. Turns out this was interrupting a call Rosie was having with her sister, who had been on the other end of the phone this whole time.
Her name is Anna.
Anna?
Yeah.
Okay. And where's Anna right now?
In other country.
And seeing as Anna lives on the other side of the world,
Salam, chetari.
Rosie comes down to the edge of the ocean that separates them to be as close as she can when they connect over the phone.
I'm feeling good because I know she's good, she's going to work, she has a family, she's happy. When she's happy, I'm happy.
And even happier to know that every time she'll find one of these specific stones, which she keeps as a souvenir of their happy conversations.
I have a lot of stone. I keep them together. Yeah.
And that
on
makes-
the shelf. Yeah.
And that makes you happy?
Yeah.
But before she returns to her call, Rosie shows why she picks this sort of stone.
Kind of light on the stone.
Because of the way it glows in the light and reminds her that no matter how far you find yourself from the one you love, the same sun will always shine on you both. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
Yeah, nice way to think of your sister overseas.
Some people are just intrigued by anything they find on the beach.
And there's lots of beautiful things you can find on the beach as well.
Very peaceful.
Yeah.
Lots of lovely stones.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Look at this beauty, a fabulous fall day in the city. Thanks, John, for sending this gorgeous one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Wow, the colors are fabulous.
I love it right now.
That looks like a paint.
Right?
Yeah,
that really looks like a painting.
maybe a week or two ago.
I'm not saying when it is.
There's no time limit for these. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
See you later.